Hello guys, today I'm going to talk about China's territorial dispute against Japan over the Senkaku slash Diaoyu Island. Um, so, what is the issue between Japan and China? Well, as we can see, in the East China Sea, which is pretty much the area where Japan and China is, are found eight uninhabited islands which is now claimed and controlled by Japan. China is trying to claim those eight inhabited islands because they found out that those eight islands occupy a lot of areas where there's a lot of shipping routes and fishing grounds, and also they found out that there's a potential for oil and natural gas to be harnessed within those areas. And then Japan claims that they control this island after they said that in the 19th century, before World War One, they found these eight islands and they have observed it over a few months within those time period, and they found out that there is no inhabitants living in those islands, and thus they claim it as theirs after World War Two. After World War Two was finished, China, however, claimed that they have controlled and they have controlled this island since the ancient times. It says that these Diaoyu Islands for China is their primary fishing grounds for fishermen back in the ancient times until before the World Wars. So, why are they fighting over these eight inhabited islands? Well, researchers from China and Japan found out that these islands has a potential for oil and natural gas to be found. As you know, oil and natural gas is very important and could help a country's economic system because there's not a lot of place where you can farm oils or farm natural gas, and they can only be found in certain places on Earth. So having the ability to farm it and become your primary kind of industry to farm oil or farm natural gas will help the country's economy a lot and could help develop the country. Well, the tension between each countries have not been cooled down since 2013 and 2014. However, in 2014, both countries have strengthened their military forces. In 2015, like today, they still have not made any resolution or made any declarations or agreements over these eight uninhabited islands. Now, this issue incorporates a lot of um, geography terms that we use in school. So I already picked a few of them. The first one being territory. Territory is an area of land under control of a country. The second one is territoriality, meaning it is a means of affecting interactions between two or more places and extends the particulars of action by contact, which means it could be in the form of a war or battles, those types of stuff. And then the next one is geometric boundary, meaning it is a political boundary created using a line or an arc. And then the fourth one is region. Region is an area of division which has definable characteristics, however not always has fixed boundaries in them. Next one is place. A place is an area that is defined by everything in it. And the last one is location. Location is pretty much a point or a place located on the Earth's surface. The first one we're going to talk about is going to talk about the territory and geometric boundary. Now, as you can see on this map, the disputed islands are located really close to the boundary line claimed by Japan. Now, seen on the claimed geometric boundary of Japan, the islands are located very close to the boundary, as I said, of Japan, meaning these islands are located very close to where the boundary between China and Japan that is being claimed by Japan. It's very close, meaning technically it should have belonged to China. And then the territory wise, the area of it is very close more to China rather than close to Japan. So technically you could say territory and geometric boundary wise that these 8 uninhabited islands belong to China instead of Japan. Next one is territoriality. Now, both Japan and China shows territoriality by strengthening their military forces. As I said in the previous slides, I explained in 2014, both China and Japan strengthened their military forces. China added more ground soldiers, so they added more men to them, and Japan uses the help of the U.S. Army because Japan does not have any military in them, so they needed an ally to provide them with the military forces they need. Why this shows territoriality, because if they were to have a conflict or war in this territory dispute over the Senkaku and Diaoyu Islands, they will have the manpower and the firepower to win the war or the conflict that could happen. So let's say if there's a war happening within this next few months or next few years, I don't know, they will have the military to fight with it. Next one is we're going to talk about the region and the location of the Senkaku Islands and the Diaoyu Islands. The coordinate, the exact location of where the Senkaku Islands or Diaoyu Islands are located in 25.74 degrees north and 123.47 degrees east. Now, as we can see on the map itself, the location of these islands is pretty much closer to Taiwan and China rather than Japan. Now, Japan, technically their most southern part of Japan is the Okinawa island. However, if you can see from this map itself, it's more closer to the region of China compared to the region of Japan. So technically we could say that these islands belong to China, although Japan still claimed as theirs because they said they found it as an uninhabited island, so they claimed it first before China actually claimed it in 2013. Last one, we have place. The place of the disputed islands suggested that they are found off the coast of western China, the northern Taiwan, off the coast of northern Taiwan, and then they are closer to the east coast of Japan. East coast of Japan, which is the Okinawa island, right here. The place of the disputed island is really strategic for shipping routes. That's why one of the main reasons they have dispute over it, because these islands are very close to like different countries, and so they could import and export things out of their countries easier. That's why if Japan or China has the control of those islands, they could easily and more strategically import and export things out of their countries to another one. So thank you for listening. If you have any questions, you can ask me right now. And if not, thank you for listening. And this has been my presentation. And thank you.